sign, it just came out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think we are ready to call the meeting to order. Thanks for everybody's patience tonight. I appreciate it. Sorry we're running a little bit late on the workshop. First thing tonight is our invocation, and I want to introduce Dr. Cynthia Mortensen. She's also a colleague of mine at Aztec High School, but I just want to read a little bit of some of her credentials. She's a chaplain major in the Army National Guard. She's also a chaplain major in the United States Air Force Civil Air Patrol, and also a chaplain with the San Juan County Sheriff Department. Anything else? You Marines, Army, Navy?
I just graduated from the Marine Corps Educators Workshop 2 weeks ago.
Okay, they'll probably be looking for a chaplain now. So, all right, so if everybody would please stand up, and Dr. Mortensen.
Thank you. All right, so thank you for preparing the matter which you're requesting. Our Father, which art in heaven, we're so grateful to be here this evening. We're thankful we were able to arrive in peace and safety. We're thankful for those who are serving in this community, those who are serving in our nation, and those who are serving in our schools. We pray that blessings will be upon them abundantly, that they will be able to live their lives in service of others and be able to bless the lives of all those they come in contact with. We're so grateful for those who serve our great nation in the military services and in our police services. Bless them, protect them, guide them, and may they be able to be in tune with spirit to know when they're in harm's way and be able to be protected from such. We pray upon this land that it will be blessed with the rain necessary to fill our rivers and lakes. We pray that the monsoon season will bring much abundance and that we'll be able to be thankful and joyful for the rains and the moisture that we receive. We're grateful for all the blessings that we receive by thy hand. This to be saved in the name of the mighty Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
Mr. Saavedra, would you care to lead us in the pledge? I'm sorry, I didn't think ahead on this one, so thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Salute the flag of the state of New Mexico and the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Take a while to learn that one.
We'll get there.
Yeah. I cheated with.
Okay, thanks again, everybody. Okay. All right, next up is roll call. Carla, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Stover.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bright.
Here.
Commissioner Sykes.
Here.
Commissioner Randall.
Here.
Commissioner Lewis.
Here.
All present.
All right, next item is agenda approval. If there are any items that need to be removed from the agenda from tonight's meeting, now is the time to do so. Are there any items that need to be pulled from tonight's agenda?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Hearing none, I will entertain a motion for approval of tonight's agenda.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
I'd
ma'am.
like to move to approve tonight's agenda as given.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Excuse me.
Okay. The next thing we have is a proclamation of the City of Aztec. And I've invited some guests this evening to join us. May is National Bike Month, and I do like riding my bicycle, and I know there's a lot of folks out there that also like to ride bikes. I'm looking at a few of them right now, and I just thought it was important to kind of accentuate and to kind of shine a spotlight on things like this as we transition as a city, you know, looking forward to our development and our MRA, to highlight more of the pedestrian-friendly and non-combustible motorized types of transportation. And it's also an opportunity to kind of shine a little bit of a light on a couple of organizations, Aztec Trail and Open Spaces. We've got some folks here tonight from there. And we have a brand new, 36 hours open or so, bike shop on Chuska in Maine, where the hot dog place was for a very brief time, and it's also where Cottonwood Cycles used to be. So it's had a history of bike shops in there, and I'm very, very excited. I've got my T-shirt already, and I'm looking forward to spending lots of money there. So my wife's right behind you. She's not so sure. But anyway, I'm going to read the proclamation, and then I would like to present it to the new bike shop owners, if that's okay, and we'll come down and present it and, hand it over to you. So, okay. So, proclamation of the City of Aztec Bike Month. Whereas the bicycle is an economical, healthy, convenient, and environmentally sound form of transportation and an excellent tool for recreation and enjoyment of Aztec scenic beauty. And whereas throughout the month of May, the residents of Aztec and its visitors will experience the joys of bicycling through educational programs, races, community events, charity events, or by simply getting out and going for a ride. And whereas Aztec's road and trail system attracts bicyclists each year, providing economic, health, transportation, tourism, and scenic benefits. And whereas creating a bicycling-friendly community has been shown to improve citizens' health, well-being, and quality of life, growing the economy of Aztec, attracting tourism dollars, improving traffic safety, supporting student learning outcomes, and reducing pollution, congestion, and wear and tear on our streets and roads. And whereas Aztec Trails and Open Spaces, the City of Aztec, Alien Bike Shop, the City of Aztec Office of Tourism, the League of American Bicyclists, schools, parks, and recreation departments, police departments, public health districts, hospitals, companies, and civic groups will be promoting bicycling during the month of May 2018. And whereas these groups are also promoting bicycle tourism year-round to attract more visitors to enjoy our local restaurants, hotels, retail establishments, and cultural scenic attractions. And whereas these groups are also promoting greater public awareness of bicycle operation and safety education in an effort to reduce collisions, injuries, and fatalities, and improve health and safety for everyone on the road. And now therefore, we, the Aztec City Commission, do hereby proclaim May 2018 as Bike Month in Aztec, New Mexico, and we urge all residents to join us in this special observance. Signed, yours truly. So, thank you. You guys like to join me?
Who's gonna accept it? Okay. Going?
Yeah, come on up, guys. We've got Chris and Jackie from ACOS. I'm also a member of ACOS.
They've been working on a software right now. Happy Bike Month.
All right. Next on our agenda is citizen recognition.
I've got one real briefly tonight. I just got the information a little bit ago from Kirk Carpenter with the schools, but the state high school, or the Aztec High School shotgun team won a state championship this past week. So I just a brief mention now, and then I'll try and get them in here the next commission meeting and have the names of all the participants and coaches and all that good stuff. But we're running out of space on the championship board on coming into town, so it's a good problem to have.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Well,
Good for
congratulations to the shotgun team. Well, actually, one of my cadets is on that team, so Jaden Shaw. So congratulations to the shotgun team. That's great news. Any further citizen recognition? Anybody?
I guess I could, since he mentioned the high school shotgun team, I could just mention now, instead of in my report, the high school baseball team did qualify for the state tournament and went this last weekend. We won one of our games, lost two, so we're done. But they had a good season, and then I would just like for everybody to remember our track team and our girls softball team are both competing this weekend in their state tournaments. So good luck to all of those kids that are participating in that. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Yeah, I was going to do a quick. She got me on that one as far as the track. No, that's great. The track team. Yeah, I've got and that made me think because one of my cadets is also qualified for state javelin competitor at the states this weekend. So good luck to all of them, and just keep plugging away. All right. The next thing we have is employee recognition.
Sure, I can do that. I just, Mr. Mayor, I wanted to recognize Jeff Blackburn and all of our Parks and Rec crews. I have been down to quite a few of our sports fields lately, and I just have to commend them. Everything looks terrific. I haven't been to all of the baseball fields yet, but I'm making a good, I've been to quite a few. So, and just all of our fields and our parks and everything are looking amazing, and I just wanted to do a shout out to Jeff and our Parks and Rec crew. They're doing a great job. Everything looks great. Our city looks great. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I had one too. I was going to say, we had my daughter's birthday at Cap Walls Park this last weekend, and everyone was like, "Oh man, the grass looks great here. How's this park? We didn't even know this park was here." I'm like, "How did you guys not know this was here?" But it's right behind the house, so we all know. But yeah, it looked excellent, and I don't know, looks great, except for the scary flushes on those toilets there. But I think we all know about that problem, so we all watch it. But
They're powerful.
I know, it's crazy. Everyone right now is screaming. I'm like, yeah, it's terrifying, but they got used to it. But no, but it looks great, and they were clean at least. It's just they do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That's all.
Toilet and bidet.
Okay. All right. If there isn't any other employee recognition, I'm going to go ahead and move into the consent agenda. Items placed on the consent agenda will be voted on with one motion. If there are any items that do not meet the approval of a commissioner, that item may be pulled for further discussion under items from the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion if there isn't anything.
Mayor, I move to approve this evening's consent agenda as given.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. If you would signify to approve tonight's consent agenda, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Let's move right along. We're into citizens' input. Citizens who wish to speak will sign up prior to the meeting, and this is for items otherwise not listed on tonight's agenda. Are there any citizens that would like to come forward? The podium, okay. I don't see any, so we can just go ahead and move on into business items. Okay. Business item A, intent to adopt ordinance 2018-473, amending section 8-21 Fire Code, standards adopted.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor and Commission, that is an update requested by the fire department from the International Fire Code 2009 edition to the most current one, which is the 2015 edition. And it just requires a city commission to adopt the new ordinance with that update in it.
Okay. Any discussion on it? Anybody have any questions? No. Okay. So, Carla, do I need a roll call on that? Okay. So I need a motion. Please.
Mayor, I move to approve the intent to adopt ordinance 2018-473, amending section 8-21 Fire Code, standards adopted.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Carla, could you please call the roll?
Mayor Snubbert?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wright?
Aye.
Commissioner Randall?
Aye.
Commissioner Seitz?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Business item B is intent to adopt ordinance 2018-474, amending the municipal code of Aztec, New Mexico, Chapter 4, alcoholic beverages.
Mayor, Commission,
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, this item is for public celebration permits and special dispenser permits. It requires a signature when that comes to the governing body or to the city for like an event, and it's only, public celebrations are only good for small brewers, distillers, and wine growers. Special dispensers are for dispensers permit. At the current time, the city does not have a dispenser that can operate in Aztec. They can't come from Farmington to come here. So these mostly are just the public celebrations permits for grand openings. Public celebration is for a fiesta, culture event, that type of thing. What happens is the wine grower will come to the city and need a signature, and they need to send that application, which I gave you in the staff summary, into the state. And then the alcohol gaming director will approve or disapprove that permit. And so it's just a matter of streamlining that process. One of you could always sign it, or as a group you could sign it, but if you're not here, we just thought it would be good to, since I do the business licensing, liquor licensing, then it would just streamline that process.
And just, I mean, I just want to clarify, because a couple of us are new, but that's kind of the way it's been done previously, correct? Where
Yes,
we've just had
manager.
someone with signature authority to take care of it, so there's not the back and forth and having us to come in and,
Right,
you
or
know.
drop it off and wait,
Right.
and come back and pick it up. It's usually
Right.
just done. Right.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor, rather than coming before the commission each time there's an
Right.
application, we have a designated, Delane's done that in the past.
yeah,
It just
Okay.
basically signs those and they've got to be approved by Santa Fe
right,
anyway.
okay, yeah, sounds pretty simple. Okay.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions of Delane?
No.
Pretty straightforward. Okay. Thanks, Elaine. All right, I guess I would entertain a motion for item B.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt, intent to adopt, approve, intent to adopt ordinance 2018-474, amending the municipal code of Aztec, New Mexico, Chapter 4, alcoholic beverages.
You have a second?
I second it.
Okay. Carla, would you please call the roll? Aye?
Commissioner Randall?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fry?
Aye.
Commissioner Seiden?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. Item C is intent to adopt ordinance 2018-475, amending Article 4 of Chapter 25 to adopt a revised water conservation plan.
Mr. Mayor and Commission, that is the plan that we just discussed at the workshop. We'll make the necessary changes that we discussed, and that's where we're at. Any other questions?
None from me, sir.
I don't have.
Anybody else? Okay. All right. I would then entertain a motion for business item C then.
Mayor,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
move to approve the intent to adopt ordinance 2018-475, amending Article 4 of Chapter 25 to adopt a revised water conservation plan.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for item C. Carla, would you call the roll again, please?
Mayor Stover?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Fry?
Aye.
Commissioner Seiden?
Aye.
Commissioner Randall?
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
Excellent. Okay. Man, we are moving right along. Next item is our city manager, commissioner, and city attorney reports.
Mr. Mayor, no report.
Okay. Commissioner Syed?
Just a couple things. I did meet with Mike Patch from the Boys and Girls Club. Just visited with him kind of on how the perils, I guess, that they're facing with all the budget cuts and the people that have moved out of the former people that have helped support, big supporters of the Boys and Girls Club, and how they have moved out. You know, some companies have changed and different outlooks on community contributions. So they're like the rest of us. They're going to be really challenged, and so I had a good visit with him. I do have, I think, the EDAB meeting this next week. Is it this next week, the 17th, or am I a week ahead? Anyway, and then I will be attending on the 15th, the San Juan Comprehensive Plan. It'll be our second meeting on their growth management plan. Graduation is May 18th, so we'd like to congratulate all of our graduates. Hope that they're all safe. They will have a project graduation party on the 18th after graduation. So that's always a good thing. I forget, I haven't looked at the statistics for a long time, but, you know, since schools have been having, or parents have been putting together the project graduation, it has made a huge difference in the deaths and injuries in our young people on those nights when they're out celebrating, because that's an alcohol-free, drug-free celebration for them. And they offer them some great prizes to stay there till, I think it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And so it's just it's a great program. So I'm real proud that Aztec still participates in that and does that. So just congratulations to all of our graduates. I think that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
No report.
Okay. Commissioner Randall?
Just a quick fishing report. The state did put in 1,200 trout in Tiger Park last Wednesday, back on the 2nd. So I haven't been out there yet, but I've heard it's really good fishing right now. Make sure when you catch your fish, if you wring them out first, so some water goes back into the reservoir, so we're not wasting water.
Get the state straight too early?
Okay. Other than that, no report.
All right, thanks. Commissioner Lewis?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
You don't want to wring out your fish?
There's just a couple of things I'd like to mention. Today is Teacher Appreciation Day, so every single person in here, and I know there's at least 2 right here, Carl and Christy are teachers. Carl teaches at the college, and Christy teaches at San Juan College High School. Did I say that right? And no matter what, we've all had a teacher, you know, whether we are one or have been one, you know, and I think as we get a little older, we appreciate our teachers a little more. And I know, being a teacher, I really appreciate my teachers now as I've gotten older, and I have to do some of the stuff that they had to put up with folks like me. So if you know somebody, just send them a text maybe, or, you know, buy them a beer or something like that, or a coffee, and just say thanks. Kind of piggybacking on that, last week I had the pleasure of going to the senior honor banquet at Aztec High School. I got invited by 2 of my cadets, so that was really cool. They tell you how awesome you are, and then you get to return the favor, and there's a nice meal. And it's just really kind of touching to see how some of these teachers have impacted some of these students' lives. You know, you get a hard time from them, and then you really hear kind of how they feel about you during one of these settings. And it's just really, it makes you realize that, you know, you're making a real impact on these young folks' lives, and you know, it was nice. And then the next night, I had the privilege of, thanks to the commission approving the use of the city letterhead, we did some letters for some of the young men and women that enlisted into the armed forces out of Aztec High School senior class. So I had the privilege of recognizing them, because all too often, a lot of these award ceremonies are for, you know, the 4.0 GPAs and, you know, the top athletes and things like that, getting big-time scholarships or things along those lines. So to be able to recognize folks that may not always get recognition is always, you know, kind of a thrill for me. So I enjoyed doing that, and they seem to appreciate it. So, and I got to spend a few days in Clovis after that doing a zoning seminar, I guess. And I appreciate our compliance folks more and more. You know, after sitting through that for a few days, there's a lot more to it than people realize, and it was very educational. You know, so when you have folks doing land use issues and wanting variances, it gives you a little bit of an insight on maybe, you know, the long-term ramifications of some of our actions up here. So it was definitely valuable and educational. So it might not have been the most exciting 3 days of my life, but I definitely learned a lot. And I want to give a little tip of the hat to Stephen, because a lot of this stuff I already knew, you know, because he's been so thorough in kind of explaining things to me. So it was, you know, I did learn quite a bit, but just, you know, I was familiar with a lot of the stuff already. So I appreciate our staff members that have kind of educated us on that stuff. So, and graduation is next week. So let's just be careful and be super aware that there's going to be a lot of young people out on the roads. They're losing their minds right now in the parking lots of schools. So just be a little extra patient, you know, take an extra beat at an intersection because they're not paying attention like they should. They got spring fever, and you know, that's all I have. So thanks. Mr. Thrower?
No report.
Okay. With that, we will go to department reports.
Just a quick report for you. This past Friday, we met in the Chiefs Association, and this is just to help keep you up to speed on school safety stuff we're doing. They went with my recommendations for a resolution for Municipal League, so we'll be presenting that to the Municipal League at the Resolutions Committee. The three items basically we were talking about are red flag laws, changing the penalty to a felony on making a threat, and then trying to change PERA law to allow retired officers to come back and work in there. I also had the opportunity to talk to the senator and basically told him some of the same things, Senator Martin Heinrich, to make sure we're going in the same direction. And I did a follow-up letter with him, and I've done a follow-up call with his person here in town, Jim Dumond, and to keep going and see if we can't work to change some of the COPS grant regulations and rules so that we can put in and do better at getting some additional funding. So I just want you to know I'm still out there, still doing things, and if you see anything that needs to be done, I'm more than willing to do it. I'm going to be kind of the spokesman out front in the Chiefs Association because of what we've gone through here, to hopefully have a voice and be able to have an impact on the legislature when it comes about this next year. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you for your work on that, Chief.
Okay. All right.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening.
I'd just like to invite you Thursday morning. We're starting out a Mother's Day celebration by having a Mother's Day breakfast. And then we're going to move into a Mother's Day tea with tea and cookies. And you can bring your favorite cup. And all the while, I'll be doing hairstyles and nail polishing with art for all the ladies who attend. So I know the seniors would love to have you, and I would too. So
What time?
no, it's going to 9-ish for breakfast, and then it'll be most of the morning, but I can squeeze you in early if you need me to. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I think, anybody else for department reports?
Nobody's running.
I'll be very brief. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City
Good
Commission.
evening.
As you're already aware, the MRA draft has been posted on the city website for all of your review. I would highly encourage you to take a look at it. It's not as dry as some of the land use code. It is a future document, but it is relatively important because it's what's going to be our downtown within the next 10 to 20 years. And so I would highly encourage you to take a look at it. If there's anything that you feel is necessary that needs to be clarified or changed, please keep that in mind because Consensus Planning, the consultant, will be here on Tuesday, May 15th, to present to City Commission about this report. So, thanks.
Thank you, Stephen. Okay. I think that's it. Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.